Today in the news, armed forces of Ukraine bombed with the help of HIMARS the only railway bridge across the Daniel Pair leading to Kyrgyzstan. China fired heavy guided missiles into the Taiwan Strait at night. Iranian and Iraqi groups storm U.S. military base in Baghdad. This and other news to this hour. The American HIMARS system damaged the only railway bridge leading to Kherson across the Dnieper. The Ukrainian military attacked the railway bridge across the Dnieper which leads to Kherson. This is the only bridge connecting both banks of the Dnieper, which greatly complicates transport links with Kherson. Information on this subject is confirmed by satellite images in which a large hole can be seen in the railway track, and next to the bridge there is a huge funnel left either by a direct hit on the railway bridge or by a second rocket. In the presented satellite image you can see that there is a gaping hole in the railway track which is the result of a direct hit by a rocket fired by the HIMARS MLRS. So far no official statements have been made by the head of the administration of the Kherson region on this matter. However, according to the Ukrainian side, the attack was carried out using American installations. It is noteworthy that earlier the Ukrainian side stated that not only the automobile but also the railway bridge was subjected to strikes using the HIMARS MLRS, but no evidence of its damage was presented. It is not known how critical the damage to the railway bridge across the Dnieper is. China fired at least 50 guided missiles towards the Taiwan Strait due to the threat posed by the United States in the Taiwan Strait. The PRC authorities decided to use PHL-16 heavy multiple launch rocket systems for strikes in the Taiwan Strait. The latter are a close analog of the American HIMARS systems. However, they carry heavy 370mm guided missiles capable of hitting targets at distances up to 220 kilometers and, according to some sources, up to 500 kilometers. It is known that at night the Chinese military unexpectedly fired about 50 PHL-16 guided missiles into the Taiwan Strait. According to preliminary data, the blows were delivered along the eastern part of the strait, while the blow was so massive that it could be observed from a distance of up to 80 kilometers. On the presented video frames you can see the shelling of the Taiwan Strait using Chinese PHL-16 systems. Judging by the video footage, at least 32 missiles were fired from this direction alone. It is known that the launches were carried out in order to intimidate the United States before an imminent strike in the event of an attempt to escalate in the Taiwan Strait, and according to experts even 32 volleys would be enough to break an American aircraft carrier strike group deployed near the Chinese coast. Iraqi protesters and pro-Iranian groups have launched an assault on a U.S. military base in Baghdad. The protesters launched a surprise attack on the U.S. military base and the U.S. embassy located in the so-called green zone of the Iraqi capital. In addition to the fact that the protesters are armed, the latter are actively using heavy construction equipment and are already destroying the fortifications of the U.S. military, thereby demonstrating their intention to seize the territory controlled by the US government in Baghdad. Video footage obtained by the Avia.pro news agency shows an attack on a U.S. military base and U.S. embassy. The protesters use road and construction equipment. In particular, we are talking about bulldozers and excavators, and literally demolish fortifications on the outskirts of American facilities. At the moment the US military is not involved in the suppression of the protesters, but gunfire is heard in the air indicating that serious clashes are likely.